there, my name is Jem, aka Wheels No Heels, and I am a disability lifestyle vlogger, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But first of all, let me introduce myself and tell you a little bit more about me. So I live in the southeast of England near a little town called Brighton, which I absolutely love. I live there with my daughter who is 12 and my husband who I've been married to for quite some time now. We have a really cute boxer dog called Bindi and a cute little black cat called Tink. Now, I haven't always had to use a wheelchair. I was 9 and I suffered a spinal cord injury after I had heart surgery that went a little bit wrong. But you know, it's never stopped me. I've always been determined. I've always lived life to the fullest, and I am a glass half full kind of person. I have travelled all over the world. I've been to Australia. I've dived on the Great Barrier Reef. I have been to South Africa where I've been up Table Mountain, and I've also flown solo over to LA to a wheelchair dance convention, which I'll talk about later on. Now, when I was growing up, there was no one in the public eye that looked like me. No one I could look at and think, oh, they're like me. There was no radio presenters, no TV presenters, no actors, no singers, no one with a disability or in a wheelchair that I could sort of identify with. And I've always been a theatrical type of person and love drama and things like that. And I used to love watching programs like Top of the Pops, and I used to love watching Blue Peter. And I remember turning to my parents and I said to them, do you know what? I'm going to be the first disabled television presenter, because back then I don't think there was anybody. And that was my main passion in life. But you know, as you grow up and you've got college and school and things like that, you start doing your exams, and I started to party hard and have fun, and then I eventually met my now husband and I got a job and kind of settled down and had my daughter. And then one day we saw an advert in a magazine, and Channel 4 were looking for disabled television presenters to present at the London 2012 Paralympic Games. And I turned to my husband and I was like, this is it! I've got to apply for this. And I just had this gut feeling that it was going to be something good. So I had to make an audition tape, which you won't be able to find on YouTube because I've hidden it, but there is one, and send it off to Channel 4. And to my amazement, I was one of the final 12 that got chosen to go up to Channel 4 for a week, learn how to present in a live studio, learn how to use Open Talkback and use the auto cue. And it was an absolutely fantastic time for me. It was one of the most memorable experiences that I've had. I mean, I still talk about it to this day. And I met so many amazing people. And it was the first time in my life at 20-something that I had been in a room where I wasn't the only disabled person. Everybody was disabled. And it was just an incredible feeling. I don't know if any of you have experienced that, but it really is quite magical, because there's none of that awkwardness, there's no one staring, and everyone just gets it. And that's what I really, really loved. Unfortunately, I wasn't chosen, but I learnt so much, and I even used some of those skills that I learnt back then today with my vlogging. Once that had all died down, I did upload a few videos to YouTube, but this was back in 2010 when YouTube was just sort of being born, as it were. And but you know, I just kind of fell back into family life and bringing up my daughter, and I absolutely loved being a mum. I still love being a mum, and I carried on my part-time job. But then 5 years on, I was actually made redundant from my job of 12 years. And I was really, really upset, and I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And I remember looking through Instagram, which had, you know, not long launched, and people were doing hair tutorials and getting quite a lot of, you know, engagement from that. And I thought, I could do that. Got quite nice hair, kind of like makeup and beauty. So Wheels No Heels was born, and I started to do hair tutorials and a little bit of beauty. But in the back of my mind, I always thought that I'd like to do something disability related. But no one was talking about that, so I didn't even think that it could be an option. So time went on and I started to gain quite a lot of followers and lots of comments, and some were good, but some were not so nice. And they were really superficial. And I thought to myself, you know, this really isn't for me. There is more to me than this. And I really, really want to sort of show the world who I am and what I've achieved and what I can do and help others. Because when I was made disabled at the age of 9, I felt very, very alone, and I didn't have anyone that I could talk to or look up to. So I've always had this feeling that I should help people, I should help other people and offer support. So after about a year of doing the hair tutorials, I was like, nope, I've had enough. I'm going to change it all up to disability related topics. And I didn't know how it was going to go, but everyone who I told was very, very supportive. So I changed it all up and I absolutely loved it. And I started to make videos on wheelchair fashion tips and, you know, how to use your wheelchair correctly, how to pop wheelies, how to do transfers. I do tours of my home. We go on holidays, we've been to Disney and we show all of the accessibility there, and I absolutely love it. And what I really, really love about it is the fact that I have built up this wonderful community of other disabled people who can all talk to each other and share tips with each other. And it really is one of my biggest passions and something that I am most proud of. Once I changed everything up to disability lifestyle, so many opportunities have come up for me. I've done a TED talk. I was sponsored to fly to LA to the Rolettes Wheelchair Dance Convention, which was absolutely amazing. I mean, these are things that I could hardly even dream of doing. I have done television interviews on BBC Breakfast, ITV, Jeremy Vine, I've been on BBC Radio 5, and it's just been absolutely magical for me. Not only that, I have managed to change my hobby and my passion into a business as well, which I'm really, really proud of. Now, if I was to ask you, if you're watching this, what do you want to be when you grow up? One of the most popular careers that people choose now is to be a YouTuber or a vlogger, and I would highly, highly recommend it. It's amazing to start out as a hobby. It's such good fun. But I'd love to share some tips with you on how I started it, and also some tips on keeping safe as well, because even though I'm an adult, I still have to think of my safety as well. So the first thing that I will talk to you about is the equipment. Now, don't, whatever you do, rush out and buy fancy equipment when you're first starting out. You really don't need to. All you need is a smartphone. Pretty much everyone has a smartphone. Fun fact for you, my most popular video has over 1 million views, and that video was shot on an iPhone 6. So it goes to show you that it's not down to the fancy equipment and lighting, it is down to what is actually in that video. I didn't invest in a good camera until about 2 or 3 years into doing Wheels No Heels. And you know what? I've only just invested in a ring light, which you might be able to see in the reflection of my glasses. What the experts do say is that the most important thing is your lighting and your sound. So make sure you're well lit. Maybe you could film in front of a window, and make sure people can hear you correctly as well, because if those things aren't up to par, people will turn off straight away. I still edit on iMovie, which is a free app on the App Store or that comes with MacBooks. I don't use any fancy editing software, and I still use just the free music that's available in iTunes. As I am a disability vlogger, I do try to make sure that all of my content is accessible. So I will always put in alternate text if that's available, or an image description. And I always make sure that my videos are captioned as well, because there's nothing worse than not being able to access something. So let's just talk about safety. And this is so important. Even now, as I said, as an adult, I have to be aware of my safety. If I am filming outside of my house, I make sure that you can't see any street names and you can't see any door numbers, and my number plate of my car is always blurred out. But like yourselves, if you're filming around school, I highly recommend that you don't do that. And also, don't film in your school uniform. I see so many people filming TikToks and YouTube videos in their school uniform, and that is very potentially dangerous. Make sure that any personal information is not on show. So if I'm opening any boxes, doing an unboxing video, make sure that my address is blurred out, or if I've got any posts laying around anywhere, that's all blurred out as well. Make sure that when you're filming something, it's not going to offend anyone, upset anyone, and bear in mind that once it's out there, it has the potential to be out there forever. So make sure that it won't embarrass you in 2, 3, 5, 10 years time. Get to know all of the privacy settings on whatever apps you're using. Make sure that you have checked your settings, whether you want it public, private, or just for friends. Be familiar with the block and delete button as well. And if anyone does send you anything inappropriate or any comments that you're not quite sure of, or they upset you, make sure that you speak to someone that you trust, like a parent or a guardian, so that they are aware of it and they can help you. One rule that I live by is that if I was to ever receive any hate comments or not so nice comments, I just ignore it. The best thing to do is to rise above it, or you can block and delete as well. So why not head over to my YouTube channel, Wheels No Heels, or come and visit me on Instagram and TikTok at Wheels No Heels. And if you've got any questions, you want to ask me anything, I will be more than happy to help you. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video today, and I look forward to maybe sharing some more content with you in the future. Thank you for watching. Bye.